Let's bring in Bobby Hurley, who, of course, played with Christian Laettner. Buffalo head coach going to the tournament to take on West Virginia. Let me start there. Congrats.
Thanks, Dan. Good morning. Good to be with you again.
Good to be with you. Denny, were you surprised at where you were seated? Disappointed? What was the reaction?
I just think we're just ecstatic, to be in the tournament at a mid-major program. It's so hard to make it. You have to win your way into the field, and so we won our conference championship, had a share of the regular season championship. Really, had a high RPI. We finished our RPI was 28. We won 10 road games this year. We played close games versus Kentucky and Wisconsin. We were leading Kentucky by 2 with 13 minutes to go. So we faced that type of competition all year. So, just to get in the field, and I don't really concern myself too much with, where we're positioned. Just, for this program, first time in school history to be in the NCAA tournament. I'm just excited for the school, our community, and our players.
That's great, though. Friday against West Virginia, 12 versus a 5. Do you find yourself channeling Coach K at all, bringing up things he said, approaches that he had, or pregame speeches?
Well, I spoke with Coach on Sunday morning on our way back from Cleveland after we won the conference tournament, and just he was excited for me and just trying to get any type of advice, going into this. I have it from a different perspective as a player, how to prepare, for an NCAA tournament, and I'm just going to try and really keep it really consistent to what we've been doing and stay in our routine. And, we played in big games. I mentioned the Kentucky game and the Wisconsin game. So, our players are used to being in those type of situations. And, Coach always talked to us about trying to win 2 games and not look at it like a 6-game tournament and try and take it week by week, thinking about winning 2 games. And that's what our mindset will try and be, going into this West Virginia game.
Could you give me 7 minutes in the West Virginia game if you could play?
No, I could still probably hit a shot if I'm open. That's where I'm at this point. I've transitioned from a point guard to like a 4-man right now. I gotta do the dirty work and try and get loose balls and long rebounds and things like that. It's not good anymore, Dan.
Will your players bring up the documentary on Laettner since you are prominently displayed in that?
I made the guys aware of it. I'm sure that they'll taken something out of it and bust my chops some, about Christian and some of the things that went on and that were discussed in the film.
I didn't realize that he picked on you the way he did. I knew that he could be a ball buster, but I had no idea that, it was you showed up, he was going to pick on you. Well,
it's something that I didn't really feel as bad about as it was portrayed, in the film. I think he challenged me. He tried to get the most out of me as a player. He held us all accountable all the time. He was so competitive, no matter what it was. Ping pong, he wanted to beat you at just about everything. I've never seen anyone that never shuts that down, the competitiveness that he had. And, we were both really stubborn. I was a stubborn guy, too. And, I believed in my talent, and so did he. So we didn't always see eye to eye on stuff. But, I felt like as the point guard, I had a lot of control. So that's where I was able to take control of the team and have my say about the direction of our team.
Talking to Bobby Hurley, Buffalo head coach, who's got West Virginia opening round, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Would you rather be a teammate of Laettner's or Coach Laettner?
Teammate for sure. Had great memories. What he delivered. In terms of winning. The clutch shot making, all the things that he provided for us. It wasn't always easy being a point guard with him because he was so competitive and he wanted the ball all the time. And if I wasn't playing well, then he was right in my face about it. So I'm tough enough to handle it, though, so it didn't really affect me.
He did tell me last week that your punishment was that you had to go to Buffalo and coach, since that's where Laettner grew up.
Well, it's amazing. been able to get a feel for why, Christian was so proud of being in Buffalo, and it's just a great sports town. And, I'm excited to be here. The people really are supporting what we're doing and are excited that we finally broken through here. And, I could see why Christian, loved this place the way he did, just with my experience here for 2 years.
Bigger rivalry or tougher opponent, UNLV or the Fab Five?
The toughest game I ever played in was the UNLV game. I mean, the first one was brutal. The second one, it was the closest thing to an NBA team that I saw, and it took a near perfect game for us to win that one. And they were the most talented team that I saw by far. I think the Fab Five, had they stayed together, and continued to progress, maybe their senior year, could have challenged a team like UNLV, but never really saw anything like what they presented, with Larry Johnson and Greg Anthony and all those guys.
Jalen Rose still hasn't gotten over that loss. You know that.
Well, I mean, it's it was those guys had the talent and they believed in themselves so much and they let everyone know about it. So we put a chip on our shoulder when we faced them. It was easy to get motivated to play Michigan for sure when those guys were there, and we knew what we were bringing to the table, and we kind of knew how good we were. And I'm just happy that I ended up 3-0 versus Fab Five in my career.
Did you run into you cross paths with any of those guys?
I saw Chris Webber a while back in an airport. I was going recruiting and spoke with him briefly, but I haven't seen most of the other guys. Mike Talley, this is another guy from that team, not one of the 5 freshmen, but his son was a really good player in our conference here in the MAC at Eastern Michigan, and ran into him as well.
Did Leitner text you or call you to congratulate you on making the tournament?
I didn't. I got a tweet, I believe, from Christian regarding that. I did speak to him ahead of the documentary coming out before we played our conference tournament, and he wished me the best and just let him know how much I look forward to watching the documentary Sunday night. And it was enjoyable. I think it was, it showed how competitive Christian was and how maybe in some ways people could understand why people didn't like him for whatever reason.
Did you hate Leitner at any point in your college career?
Well, I just think that he wore you out sometimes, just because, he would come at you a lot and you just wanted him to go away sometimes and stay off you. So there were times that I felt that way. I think hate is way too strong of a word. And, I just think he's so competitive and he never shuts that down at all. So it just, you just didn't want to deal with it in your face all the time.
If he was 6 inches shorter, would you have fought him?
Would I have? I mean, I still probably would have anyway. I mean, it wouldn't have turned out well for me, but that's the type of guy I am. I don't really back down from anybody.
You would have been like Jeff Van Gundy holding on to Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's probably fair.
Well, congrats. Well done there in Buffalo, and good luck on Friday against West Virginia. We appreciate your time, Bobby.
Yeah, appreciate that. Have a good one.
All right, Bobby Hurley, Buffalo head coach.